barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue.
Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant of Yago Ham Barbecue. Have you ever stood around a smoker or a grill and felt the world fade away? Now that's barbecue therapy. Joining us for a therapy session today is High on the Hog BBQ. Today on Barbecue Therapy, we're shining the spotlight on the rising crew in the comp barbecue scene, High on the Hog. This team may be new to the circuit, but they're already bringing big energy, bold flavors, and passion that's impossible to ignore. Whether you're a seasoned pitmaster or just thinking about dipping your toes in your first comp, their story is one you'll want to hear. We're diving into what it's like being a new team on the block, how they're navigating the learning curve, and what fuels their fire, literally and figuratively. All right, we're going to get started. I got one rule: make yourself at home, speak freely. I have no sponsors, so you can say what you want. All
I
right.
appreciate you having me on.
All right, no problem. First question I have is, what's the story behind the name High on the Hog?
Okay, High on the Hog, good start. So basically, we were workshopping a ton of different names. We had two sauce to pork that was top running, blind squirrel barbecue because every blind squirrel's got to find a nut every once in a while. So we're just trying to be that blind squirrel. Gone hogging. Man, the wives didn't like that one too much, so that got scrapped. One of the guys that we barbecue with a lot basically said, man, you guys got all the nice stuff. He goes, you're living high on that hog. And it just stuck. It's what we do. If there's something nice out there that's going to help us, we're going to buy it. And the name precedes high on the hog. And honestly, it works good with social media. I didn't think anybody would want to sponsor two sauce to pork. That's the other reason.
Definitely. Like I told you when I saw you in class, if y'all don't know, I met them in Chris Schaefer's tell-all class, and when I saw the logo, I just loved y'all logo. It's one of the best ones out there. I love Brad getting basted. I love his logo. It's some of the best logos out there. I love the logos and the thought that comes into it. And that's what draw me to y'all. How did
Think
y'all team come together, and when did y'all decide to jump into comp barbecue?
so. I guess this is more of like our origin story, and it's a quick one. So me and my teammate Rich Alexander, we've been friends forever. We worked at the same company. We were both electricians in the field for 20 years. Now we're project managers. We would just hang out and we'd barbecue. Every time we'd hang out, we go to the lake, we barbecue. We go to his house, we barbecue. We're barbecuing. Rich reached out to me and said, "Do you want to maybe take the St. Louis Barbecue Society judging class?" And I said, yeah, an excuse to go eat free barbecue and go hang out at festivals. Yeah, let's do it. So we took the St. Louis Barbecue Society judging class, sitting in class, basically eating barbecue that others have made to us. We look at each other and we're like, I think we could do this. I was like, I think we could do this. Let's judge for a year and see what happens and basically go from there. So we judged our first competition. We took the class basically in August of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our first judge was in October. So we went there, judged the competition. We got done with that and said, oh, we can definitely do this. Was the top meats really good? Yeah. But we thought we might be somewhere in the middle in what we were currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a backyard competition they were pushing out there in November. And we're like, all right, let's do that. I didn't want to do it. Rich kind of was like, hey, I think we could do this. I purchased my first ever drum like a month before our barbecue class. So I never cooked on a drum before in my entire life, but I saw that most of these competitors were cooking on drums. We also purchased, and that's going to be one of my keys is social media and basically all the content out there. We signed up for the barbecue leagues. It was best $100 I've ever spent in my life. I watched the videos probably 4 or 5, some of the videos probably 30 times already. And so I think that kind of got us ready for that first quote unquote backyard competition. And that backyard competition was in November. So we went from taking the judges class somewhere around August, September, to cooking our first backyard competition in November of last year. And we did well. We RGC'd it. And that's when the hook got set. It was on from then, and our wives knew it. They basically go, "Man, I hope you guys don't do good in this competition because we know it's going to be a downhill after this." And as soon as we RGC'd that, it was okay. Now what? Oh, let's buy 2 more pits. Let's buy a trailer. We go in 100%. And that's me to a fault,
Mhm.
actually. If I'm going to do something, I go all out. I put almost 100% of all of my effort into something. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. So that's how we got into it. Like I said, it's not a long, drawn out, over the years kind of story. It was just quick, very quick.
Yeah, like I said, the judging class, because I'm in Georgia, so I'm a judge with the GBA, the Georgia Barbecue Association, and it definitely shows you what other people doing, and it tells you if you can hang or not. And when I'm sitting there trying the stuff, I'm like, this, I thought this was just gonna blow my mind, and some of them is just okay. It boosts your confidence up. Okay, I can hang with these folks.
It's the flavor profile, to be honest with you. That I'm not gonna say that I don't like what we cook, because I do like what we cook, but it's more sweet. KCBS, SLBS. It's a sweeter barbecue than I generally personally like. If I'm cooking at home, I'm more savory. I'm more of a dry rub. I'm not sauced. I actually never liked barbecue sauce. It just, I want the meat to shine.
Mm-hmm.
And what the judges are looking for in this is one bite of like the best thing you've ever had. And it's usually sweet and like you eat a whole rack of our ribs, you're going to be sick. So, yeah, I recommend anybody to take a judge's class to see what those guys are looking for, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So, did y'all move up to the pros, or y'all still doing backyard? Or
So we moved up to the pros. I was looking forward to cooking backyard so bad. It was like, oh, chicken and ribs. Man, my chicken's on. My chicken's always been on. Even before I even took Schaefer's class, I thought my chicken was on. Ribs needed some work, but I was like, oh, this is easy. 2 meats. Perfect. I barely even cooked a brisket before. And one of our good friends in barbecue, his name's Dan Wright. He's with Take It Easy Barbecue. He was one of the guys cooking in that judging class, and he cooked the ribs. And as nice as of a guy as he is, I reached out on Facebook Instant Messenger, and he literally answers every single question that I ever had. And I bet you I had about 150 questions in the first 2 weeks. What do you do here? How do you do it? And he's like an open book. He's really helped us along a lot. And one of the questions I asked him, I was like, how do I get into this backyard thing? And he immediately says, you don't want to do backyard. And I said, why is that? He goes, there's not enough competition. There's 4 a year that he knows of, like in this area. He goes, unless you want to travel out there, it's just not there. He goes, just go pro. And I was like, what? Can you just go pro? Is that something that you just decide you want to do? Hey, I'm a pro now. Like, I thought there would be some kind of like test or like some kind of,
minor
hey, you
league
have to
baseball?
win. Yeah, you have to win so many competitions to go pro. But he said, no, you just sign up. He convinced us to go pro, and that's what we've done this year. I'm trying to think. I think we've done 5 pro competitions this year. One KCBS, and actually, yeah, 4. One KCBS, 3 St. Louis Barbecue Societies, and then we did a backyard for Clinton County Barbecue Society. They're based out of Illinois, and that one was cool because they provide the meats,
Oh, that's good.
but in the same sense, it's meats that they give you.
Quality.
You know, the biggest battle of barbecue is obviously having good meat, and you get stuck with what they give you, which puts you on a level playing field. But somebody might get a nice rack of ribs and you got crap. I don't think we'll be doing any more of those just because the flavor profiles are so different from KCBS and SLBS.
Oh, okay. And what was the your first pro competition? What was that competition like?
Our first pro competition was, they called it Freeze Q, and that was in February. And crazy enough, the weather was great. We had just driven to Florida for a cruise, and on our way there, we paid for our trailer. And on our way back, picked up our trailer, and that next week was our first pro competition. And it was wild, really wild. We hadn't yet taken the Schaefer's class, so we were kind of using our skills that we've learned off of the barbecue league. And man, I tell you what, everybody is just so nice. That's what blew me away at our first competition is people were coming up to us and asking who we were and how did we get into this, and if we needed any help, just reach out. And I'm like, man, this is a competition, and these people couldn't be friendlier. Schaefer was there at Freeze Q, and that's I'm going to get into it, but that's one of my highlights. And I said this in his class is, what's your highlight so far? And when he took his class, it was beating him in the ancillary. We cooked a Thor's hammer and we won first place. He got second. That was great. But he came up to us and introduced himself and talked to us, and we told him we were taking his class. We had already signed up for it, and we just hit it off with him, to be honest with you. And we loved it. The other meat categories, what's crazy about barbecue competitions
Mm.
is the ancillary was called first. We knew it was good. It's turned in the night before, so it's turned in on that Saturday night, and then the competition's on Sunday. So you're sitting for awards. We thought we had a pretty decent cook, and ancillary's called, and we get first place. So in my head, I'm like, we just won this whole thing. We're winning the whole competition. We just took down the ancillary competition, and I'm waiting to hear my name called first on every single meet. And as they were going through, it's one of the worst feelings in the world is you're hearing third. Oh, and you're like, oh my gosh. Oh, you're hearing second. You're like, oh man, we won. And then you don't hear your name, and you're like, okay, we didn't get top 10 on that. And then off to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And by the time we didn't hear our name in the three meets, we get to brisket, and brisket's the toughest one for us, always has been. And I was like, okay, that was humbling. You sit there and you think about your life choices on the way home from that barbecue competition. You're like, why are we doing this? How much money have I invested into this? Is this something that I want to do? And then the next day you're like, okay, I'm okay. I didn't win my first ever pro competition. I think I'll be all right. But
Exactly.
I'm highly competitive, so it's a fault, but I think it helps us too. But yeah, that first one, it was fun. It was nice meeting new friends. It was an eye-opening experience to say the least. And yeah, and then I think it was 2 weeks later is when we took Schaefer's class, and holy cow, you want to talk about eye-opening. That kind of set the way for us for the rest of this season.
Yeah, it was an excellent class. What's one thing that you didn't expect about competition barbecue until you actually experienced it out there?
One thing I did not expect was the camaraderie, the friendships, the just I just thought it was going to be cutthroat. I thought we would show up in this brand spanking new trailer. People are going to go, who are these guys? They don't belong here. I don't know these guys. And it was the complete opposite. It was literally no one had anything negative to say to us. No one said, "Hey, I'm gonna whip up on you today" or anything like that. It's just everybody trying to help out, and that was just a complete surprise to me, honestly, just because I figured people would keep closed off. Don't look in my trailer. Don't see what sauces I'm using. Don't see what seasonings I'm using. But it was like the complete opposite. And people were even like, "Hey, you want to see what I'm using on this?" So that blew me away. And it's honestly what kind of kept us going after that first competition is this is great. I'm I'm enjoying a beer usually the night before because night before is prep. We're making kale boxes or we're injecting or doing our rubs, and that's about all you have to do except for hang out and drink beer.
Hmm.
So I got to hang out with like-minded people drinking beer night before a competition. I even messaged my wife and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I'm having so much fun right now. And I was like, I did not expect that. It's almost like what me and Rich would be doing on a normal weekend is just hanging out in a lawn chair, drinking beer and smoking meat. And now I get to do it in like a competition setting. And if I'm lucky enough, I might get a medal or some money. So
Yeah, the atmosphere is just different. That
it's crazy. It's crazy. And I love it. Like it's, I would have never expected that.
yeah, because I'm probably gonna start competing towards the end of the year once my daughter get up in age. But all I do is go walk around them, the competitions and stuff like that, and people friendly, talking to you. Like Memphis in May, I've been to 2023 and 20, the one that just passed 2025 one, and you just even just walking around, and it's a serious competition, but folks are friendly. I'm all inside people tents talking to them, and you sitting around like me and my wife looking like they don't even know us like that, and we all I mean they all friendly and asking you, do you want water, do you want food or anything like that, and we like wow. I'm like I told her this. That's why I'm addicted to barbecue because of the people, all the classes I went to. People are so friendly. They'll drop anything to come help you. Hey, you need anything? Let me know. And I was like, that's the atmosphere and the people I want to be around. Some of those are more friendly than the people that you see every day. So it's
Oh,
wow.
100%, 100%.
So I was like, hey, I'm into this. I haven't even cooked yet. I'm addicted to it.
Oh man.
So the,
I can't wait for you, man. I'll be honest with you. I can't wait for you.
yeah. So to get my fix now until I can compete, that's why I started this podcast to help other folks get tips and techniques and just to talk barbecue because I'm addicted to it. So that's why I'm here. Uh,
It's an expensive addiction, I'll tell you that right now.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna choose wisely because I still got
Yeah.
little kids. But you said you got the drum smokers. What was the learning curve on the drum smokers, and how long did it take you to master it?
Well, I still don't think we've mastered it. I tell you what, we jumped right in. Like my buddy Rich, he's owned pretty much every grill. He's got a Kamado Joe. He had messed with a drum smoker, not a gateway before. Down at the lake, we grill on an offset. Weber kettles we've grilled on. So I don't think the learning curve was too bad because, like I said, the content out there, you watch Brad Leiniger or Tim Shear basically build a basket of charcoal, and you're like, oh, okay. And you watch people dial it in, and literally when you set those two vents on the side and you leave the top wide open, that thing just sits there at 300 and it's just amazing. There was not too much of a learning curve. It was just trying to figure out how long it takes to cook your meat. And honestly, most of everybody out there goes by color before they wrap. That was the biggest learning curve. But man, those gateway drums, I can't say enough good things about them. I don't know anything really about the other brands like your Hunsakers or anything like that. I just know that some of the best in barbecue are cooking on a gateway drum. It was designed by a barbecue guy, not a scientist or whoever,
Exactly.
and it's just been amazing for us. And we get crap because everybody sees how nice our drums are and brand spanking new, but we take care of our stuff. Like we literally deep clean our trailer and polish the outside of our drums after every single competition. So we're gonna try to keep them looking nice. But yeah, you see some of these guys' drums and you're like, that's a gateway? That is a pile of rust, it looks like. But yet you beat me in ribs, so cool.
Yeah, I have one, but it's still sitting brand new because when I got it for Christmas, they had a bundle, and then my wife was pregnant, and it's been sitting in the corner for 15 months now. I didn't got the logo to put on it and everything else, but it's still sitting over there in the corner. Do y'all got your logo put on there?
Oh yeah, we so two of them we did. The two that we bought before that, before we thought we were gonna get this far, was just your regular black, matte black, and then we're like, oh, let's do logo. Let's do the HH, and let's do the pig on another one. So we went gloss black with that, and it looks awesome. And I can't believe you messed with yours yet. That's called willpower right there. I think the second I brought mine home, I was like, man, do I even have anything to cook tonight? It's like, I think I gotta go to the market and put something on there. I don't even care what it is. Let's cook some hot dogs on that thing. I just wanted to fire it up.
Yeah, since I be in there with my daughter most of the time, I don't have 4 or 5 hours to play around because if I come down here, my wife don't see me most of the day when I'm grilling until the afternoon. I was like, I don't want to disappear and get in trouble with that. So,
Exactly.
uh, but when I got I got the red one. But then I decided to change my team colors because I'm a Denver Bronco fan. So
Denver Broncos, yeah.
that's when I changed the colors. So now I got a red one, but now I got to get blue.
I think you could probably get that thing repowder coated, I would imagine. Maybe in some orange.
Yeah, yeah. Because my old logo is burgundy and black. So I was like, let me revamp. But when y'all out there, do y'all use the rubs from somebody else? Do y'all make your own rubs and the sauce?
We, as we took Schaefer's class,
Mm,
so we are pretty much on his recipes. We wanted to make stuff our own a little bit, and Chris will be the first one to tell you, don't do that. Because I've given you guys the keys to the city right now. I'm a world champion barbecue guy. This is what I use. I know he'd let me do it, but if I end up not winning or if I end up not placing, he's like, yeah, it's because you're not doing my stuff. So
mm.
we, for the most part, run his recipe with a couple of tweaks here and there, add our own flavor to it. But yeah, we are sponsored by Heavy Smoke, so we are running black and white label and a ton of white label. So he said he wanted to put his kids through college. So, you know, that white label's that white label's on pretty much everything. And it's been doing really good for us, to be honest. It's just he's such a proven entity like that. Why wouldn't I use what he has? And a lot of his sauces are your blue hog. So we run his stuff. I tried in the beginning making my own stuff, and it's what I liked. It's not what the judges liked. So
Mhm.
yeah, we went back to just using what we learned in that class.
And that's what I like, especially about him, that even though you're new, he said, hey, I'm going to sponsor you. You don't have to be a veteran. He'll take that chance and sponsor you despite you being new, which is excellent.
And I'll tell you what, that was, you want to talk about the biggest moment so far in our very short barbecue career is because after class I would message him and I'd ask him, oh hey, on your timeline it said this. What about this? Hey, on this it said this. Oh hey, what about the? He's hey, come to my shop. He lives or his barbecue shop is maybe 15 minutes from my house. So he's like, come to my shop. I'll show you again, how I trim my pork. And like I think he saw in us and is what he said. He saw that he goes, you guys are going to be good. And for somebody who barely knows us, but has seen us cook, has seen our trailer, has seen the passion that we put into this, for somebody like him to say, watch out for these guys. I think he even said in class, these guys are going to be something. These guys are going to be good. And that's ultimately why he said he decided to sponsor us, is he could see in us that we're gonna be good someday. And I hope he's right. I know we got some trophies back here. I don't have a giant trophy wall, but for only doing 4 or 5 pro competitions, I think we're doing good. Not as good as I'd like to GC something, but I'm sitting here as a rookie team saying I'm upset because I haven't GC'd anything yet. And I'm 5 competitions in. I've cooked on a drum less than a year. So that's like I said, that's my fault, but I'm super, super competitive.
They say most people don't win their first 140 to 60 contest, so it's
Oh gosh. I hope it doesn't take that long out.
crazy thing. I was talking to Christy Vanover. I looked at her barbecue data. She didn't cook 42 contests. She got four GCs and a RGC. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, man. I feel like man, I don't know. I hate to jinx myself, but I feel like we're tapping on that door with the SLBS. To be honest with you, the first competition that we cooked after Schaefer's class was Q Lathe in Olathe, Kansas, and that was a big one. There were 72 KCBS teams, and I'm talking heavy hitters like Slaps Barbecue was there, Meat Rushmore, our good friends Meet Me in St. Louis, who actually just won a world
Yeah,
championship, who's on our heavy smoke team. Nicest guys you've ever met in barbecue, too. They were in the class. But
prime rib.
oh my gosh, some of the best prime rib I've ever had in my life. I messaged Brian Payton is his name with Meet Me in St. Louis. I messaged him like the next day. I'm like, you need to tell me exactly how you made that because that was some of the best prime rib I've ever had in my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that Q Lathe, we're sitting there, we're not expecting anything at all. It's our first comp we cooked after Chris's class, using basically what Chris taught us, and we're sitting there in awards, and chicken gets called, and they get to, I believe it was eighth place, and we took eighth in chicken. I was like, okay, holy cow. Like, oh my gosh, if I don't get anything else, like I'm happy. I was hoping to finish like 30th or 35th in a field that strong, and then it comes to ribs, and we get like a eighth place call or in ribs, and I'm sitting looking at Rich, and I'm going, "Are you kidding me right now? Like what's happening?" And I was like, "All right, here comes pork." I was like, "Man, if we do pork, we got a shot at this thing." And I didn't hear my name for pork. We're back to where we were. Didn't hear our name in brisket. We go to collect our score sheets at the end. We didn't finish top 10, and we end up getting 11th in pork. And I go, do you realize, and this is the stuff that screws with you once you get into competition barbecue, like once you get into like actually cooking, like the way judging's done, because you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I got a sixth, I got an eighth, okay, I got 11th. We were sitting there with the brisket calls. If we would have not literally shit the bed in brisket, because we got 53rd in brisket,
Mhm.
we would have got middle of the road. We would have got third place overall in that competition. If we would have placed anywhere near the top 10, we would have GC'd our first ever KCBS competition. And you sit there and you're really happy about, I believe we got 17th place out of
Mhm.
72 teams. And you're happy, but then you're like, oh man, if my brisket was just a little bit better, if this was just a little, and I immediately messaged Schaefer that day. I was like, hey, this is what we did. And he goes, are you cooking that trash brisket that you were telling me about that you got from Costco? And Costco Business Centers was selling Wagyu briskets. And I was like, for 110 bucks. And I was like, yeah, I have been cooking. I have been cooking that trash brisket. I was like, he goes, why? I said, cost, man. I said, I'm trying to save a penny here. He goes, what if I told you that you could pay me $500 and you would have GC'd that competition? Would you do it? And I said, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. He goes, why are you not buying Snake River Farms briskets? I said, okay. That second, I got on Snake River Farm and I ordered two briskets off of Snake River Farms because that's the truth. Like I'm sitting here trying to scrape pennies by, but I would have paid any amount of money to hear our name,
Mhm.
even in the top three. So it's crazy. It's just crazy what different meats will do or how you cook them. Or this guy knows what he's talking about. He cooks two of these Snake River Farm briskets every competition. I said, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I want to not get a divorce anytime soon.
I
So
know that's right. $5 on meat.
yeah, $500 a competition. It's already, I think I did the math and I didn't believe somebody when they said it. Just to show up at a pro competition, 900 to $1,000 every single time. Every single time we pull in, you got your entry fees around 250 bucks, your briskets around 240 bucks, you got ribs, you got chicken, you got your sauces, you got your charcoal. We're bougie. I don't sleep in my trailer. I have to have a shower and a toilet. So we will stay in a hotel room, and that's $150 a night probably. Could I save the money and sleep on an air mattress in our trailer? Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm going to spend that extra 150. So yeah, it is expensive. Like people hear, "Oh, man, you guys did really good. You won a couple categories, you got some cash." I'm like, "Yeah, that almost paid for our entry fee and a meet." It's like I'm not I guess I'm not into this to make money. I guess if you're really good, you could end up making money. And then I guess the ultimate goal would be to start your own restaurant. Not my goal ever, but I have a job. I have a job. I have a pension. I'm going to continue to work at my job. I'm not going to open my own barbecue restaurant. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's a labor of love. And it is an expensive one at that. And I've had a couple arguments already with the wife about
I look forward to
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck.
So you say you got a teammate. How do y'all switch the duties of who cooking what inside the truck during comp?
So the teammate aspect of things is amazing. And we've been friends for so long. Like I said, we're in similar roles. We worked at the same company. He works at a different company now, but our jobs right now is we manage jobs. I manage people. So when we work together, I don't want to say it's like a symphony, but it's like the right hand knows what the left hand is doing. Like people think it's weird. Our wives think it's weird. We'll be in a trailer together and we're not even talking to each other because he knows what's next. I know what he's going to do next and vice versa. Like he knows the whole process. I know the whole process. Now, do we have our own duties? Yeah, it's adapted that way. He will set the fires for the drums. He'll get everything up to temp. He's the guy that puts the wood on. He's setting timers. I'm in there, I'm seasoning the meat. I am injecting. I will put the sauce on. I do our boxes for turn in, or at least I do the slicing. I'll slice our brisket, I slice the ribs. We both combine on boxes, but it worked out really well, better than we expected, that we both just fall into a role and we know what each other's doing. And I think that's key. And that's one of my keys to anybody looking to do this, because there's guys out there that are doing it by themselves, and more power to them. Like I said, one of our mentors at Take It Easy Barbecue, Dan Wright, he does it by himself. And I don't know how they do it. Like it's enough work for both of us by the end of a competition to where our backs hurt, our knees hurt. Like, how are these guys doing it by themselves? And another point of this is financially.
Hmm.
I've got a partner that splits half the cost with me right now. So yeah, you want to talk about how expensive this is? Yeah, it's $1,000 to roll up at a competition. That's only 500 for me. It's 500 for him. It's We split the costs equally. We split the duties equally. Like I said, he knows what I'm doing. I'm knowing what he's doing. Like I said, more power to these guys that do it by themselves. But man, if you want to start a team, I suggest highly to have a partner and somebody you have been friends with and shares the same passion, because I have seen it go the wrong way too for some of these teams, to where
Hmm.
they end up splitting up and now they're not friends. And that's because you got two alphas trying to be head of the team, and it just doesn't work like that. Like this is why I'm on this podcast, and Rich isn't here. I'm social. To a fault, I will talk to anybody and I will talk to somebody for hours on end, and I'm a long storyteller. And that is not Rich. That is not Rich at all. He just hangs back. So our dynamic seems to work really well together, and it's turned out to be great.
Okay, that's excellent. Everything goes well because it can go sideways quick.
I know.
So, what advice would you give to other new teams thinking about jumping into a competition barbecue?
So, advice, like I said, for sure, find out where you're going to cook at, like whether it's KCBS, whether it's St. Louis Barbecue Society, whatever other barbecue societies are in your local area. If that's where you're going to cook, go be a judge or go take the judge's class. Figure out what they're looking for so that that helps you out on your cook. In that judges class, if you would have told me that it's a 9 for some of the stuff I was tasting, I was like, oh, okay, this is what you're looking for. I got it. Okay. So I'd say for sure become a judge, for sure take a class, and take a class on what you're going to end up cooking on. Like you go and you take an offset class and you end up cooking on a drum, your timelines are going to be different. Maybe you can take a look at what they're doing for seasoning and injecting and their finishes, but it's not going to help you on your cook. That's ultimately why we took Schaefer's class is one, I love his restaurant. I love his personality. We knew about him through the barbecue league and I know that he cooks on Gateway drums. So it was pretty perfect in that aspect. I would say definitely join the barbecue league or anything similar that posts content. But like I said, $100, I think it's somewhere around $100 for a yearly membership.
Mhm.
And they just have so much content. You want to watch Bill Purvis do a pork tell-all with chicken fried barbecue, it's on there. You want to watch the most winning man in barbecue, Brad Leineger, give you his rib tell-all, give you his pork tell-all, it's on there. There's chicken tell-alls. Like, oh my gosh, I they lost money on me and Rich for sure because I've watched so many countless hours of their video, enough to where my wife probably knows some of these videos because she can hear it in the background. So
Exactly.
I'd say definitely those things. And then make sure you know what you're getting into, to be honest with you. This is expensive. It's pricey. If you want to do 3 or 4 backyard competitions with a pop-up 10 by 10, it's not bad. You could do that. It's not going to cost you that much. You probably already have pits, whatever you're cooking on. But if you really want to get into competition barbecue, and we're looking to do one a month. I know we're doing a back to back here in next week and the following week, but that's all we're wanting to do. One a month, maybe two at the most. But you a trailer is a must for us. It was a game changer, to be honest with you, not having to cook out of a 10 by 10. If it's raining, I'm covered. My pits are covered inside that trailer. It's just crazy. So I'd say make sure you're financially ready for this.
Hmm.
It's probably one of the bigger ones. Because, like I said, nobody wants their wife yelling at them about how much money they're spending on barbecue that she doesn't even get to eat. So,
That's true. You're feeding somebody else.
exactly. One bite, too, and then they pitch it.
Yeah, or take it to the dog or something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's the end of the interview, but we're gonna switch over to something fun. What I came up with in college basketball, they have the brackets. So I made a 16 grill meat bracket, and I did them randomly, and you pick whatever one you prefer to eat, and we'll see which one is the winner.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
right. Bracket number one is hot dog versus smoked bologna.
Hot dog versus smoked bologna. I'm hot dog. It's about the same thing, but yeah, I'm going hot dog.
All right. Matchup two is smoked ham versus hamburger.
Hamburger.
Okay. Next matchup is beef ribs versus lamb.
Ooh, beef ribs. I do love lamb, but beef ribs all day.
All right. We got smoked turkey versus steak.
Ooh. And man, if that was any other matchup, because I do like a smoked turkey, but I am a steak fanatic. Steak for sure.
Okay. Next matchup, we got brisket versus pork ribs.
Brisket versus pork ribs. Ooh, man. And this is what I like, right? This is what I like to eat. Let's go pork ribs.
Okay. Next, we got smoked chicken versus burnt ends.
Now, smoked chicken, does that count like my competition thighs? Is that considered smoked chicken?
Yeah, any smoked chicken.
Man, I love my chicken, so I'm gonna go smoked chicken.
Okay. Next matchup, pork chops versus barbecue shrimp.
Let's go let's go pork chops. I prefer my shrimp to be the scampi variety.
Okay. And next matchup, sausage versus pork belly.
Oh man,
Yeah, this ain't easy.
that's a that's a good one. Oh man, sausage versus pork belly. I eat way more sausage than pork belly, but man, when you get a good pork belly, there ain't nothing better. So I'm gonna say pork belly.
Okay. All right, we got hot dog versus hamburger.
Oh my gosh, hot dog versus hamburger. This could be the toughest matchup of the entire thing. Hot dog's nostalgic to me, man. I'm a giant St. Louis Cardinals fan, so it's like,
You too? I am too.
oh, are you really? Okay. Hey, good year so far. We've beat the Dodgers 2 games in a row, looking for the sweep today. Man, it's just the nostalgia of a hot dog, like having a hot dog at a ballpark. Like every time I have a hot dog, I think it's summertime and I'm at the ballpark. Oh, man, but I do love a hamburger. You know what? It's gonna be weird, but let's go hot dog.
All right. Next, we got beef ribs versus steak.
Wow. I'm gonna say steak. They're not too far off, but I have steak way more often, and when I say way more often, almost every week. So I'll say steak.
All right. Next matchup: pork ribs versus smoked chicken.
Let's go pork ribs.
All right. Next matchup: pork chops versus pork belly.
Pork belly.
All right. Final four: hot dog versus steak.
Oh man. Hot dog versus steak. Oh man. I'm a huge North Carolina college basketball fan too, so that'd be like North Carolina versus Akron or something. Let's go steak. I'm gonna go steak. No upset here.
Pork rib versus pork belly.
I like a good rib. Let's go pork rib.
All right. Final two is steak versus pork rib.
Steak. Taking down the net, man. Cutting the nets down. Let's go steak.
All right, steak is the winner. We had a lot of ones I did already. Beef ribs has come out champion a lot of times, so you got
And we
something
just
different.
and we just did beef ribs on the offset at the lake like 3 weeks ago, and they were fantastic. Like they are, man, when they're right, but it's just few and far between is when we have beef ribs. I mean, steak. I consider myself a steak connoisseur. Give me a dry aged steak at a nice restaurant, and I'm in love.
Your therapy session is over, and if you got anybody to promote or shout out, you can do that now.
Yeah, I'd actually like to thank our sponsors. And I know I didn't touch on this earlier, but that's another thing I would recommend. If you can get sponsors to kind of lighten the load of this financial burden, I would definitely do that. We are sponsored by One Realty Trifecta Group, Mandy Reed, State Farm Insurance, Legacy Exteriors. We are also sponsored by Heavy Smoke. We're sponsored by our newest, I'm trying to think of our newest sponsor. I'm sorry, they literally just started sponsoring me yesterday. Hygienics is our newest sponsor and Panda Motorworks. So I am all over the board. I will take money from whoever wants to give it to me to get shout outs on barbecue, but it does help us out. And I want to shout out to Summit Cargo Trailers. They are who got us our cargo trailer, and we couldn't be doing this with anything. And honestly, I couldn't be doing this without Chris Schaefer. I couldn't be doing this without you. Honestly, like your passion for this is amazing. And this was just like a couple guys shooting it for a little while. And I hope we get to cook together someday
Yeah.
at a competition. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, it's been a blast.
All right, I appreciate you coming on, and like I said, anytime you want to come back on, you got the link. So we appreciate you, and we see everybody next episode. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant. Please tune in to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and any streaming platform near you. Please pay the secretary on your way out, and we'll see you next episode.